Alright, welcome back to the stream. Oh, yep, I got it. Alright, never mind. Welcome back. Microsoft Flight Simulator World Tour Flight 200 and I believe it's 19 now, right? At 219, we're at St. Barthélemy in France, Saint-Jean, St. Barthélemy, France. Here in the Caribbean, we're at Gustaf III Airport, Aerodrome de Saint-Jean. We're going to be flying over to Princess Juliana International Airport in Sint Maarten. Another short flight, just 17 miles. Going to be another short one here, but setting us up to get down to St. Kitts and Nevis and complete our world tour here in the Caribbean. Flying into every country and territory in the world, and now it's about 5 in the evening. We're going to be taking off here in the Cessna 208B. Grand Caravan from St. Barth Commuter. We're a flight 271. We're using the in-game ATC, and so I didn't change the call sign, so they're going to be saying 120 or something, but not a big deal there. Let's get inside the plane. How do I get inside? There we go. We'll get the battery switch on. And the avionics. Not gonna be a ton we need to do here for the flight plan, but we still need to put it in. The flight plan, we're gonna be going Papa Juliet Mike en route, but we need to change our origin. Let's go clear. Enter. And origin is going to be right here. Tango. Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Juliet. Enter. And we're going to be taking off runway 10. And then destination is going to be Minerva's flight sim's getting the Bombardier Challenger 350. Pretty cool. What flight sim are you on? Infinite Flight? I know a lot of people are on Infinite Flight, and that's really cool that there's a lot of, lot more options out there for flight simming. Going to be doing runway, not that one, we need to do one. Runway 10 over there in Princess Juliana. That's all we need. Well, we can get a don't think they're gonna put us on like a star because they'll just take us way out. Approaches. Now that one we could do is we could do a VOR. Yep, infinite flight. Alright, so we got the flight plan all in. Set there. Let's turn on the nav lights, get our passenger, double check and brief, and also weights and balances, get the weights right. Not gonna be much different than our last flight, but I always like it when it does that. There we go. Payload 381 kilos. And we have 7 passengers. And our payload's still the same, so really interesting. Okay. After the Challenger 350, Infinite Flight would be reworking the Airbus A380 since the current model is due for an update. Well, that's cool that you guys already have the 380. Big thing for Flight Simulator this week was the Antov 225, or that big 6-engine plane that was unfortunately destroyed in the fighting in the Caribbean, in the Ukraine. I'm like, I know every other streamer and YouTuber, they all have to buy it. I just, like I said, I can't afford that right now. Maybe in the future when I'm a pilot and I'm making more money. definitely not for, there's gonna be a few years where it's gonna get lean, and heck, I might not even be streaming at that point. I don't know, we'll see. But if I go into flying, depending on what my wife can do, if she can get a decent job, then will be cool. Let's see. Let's hit that strobe light, and we're gonna taxi on over to our runway. West IFR clearance. Yeah, IFR.
Juliana Tower, Black
This
FIN
is getting a little
1231, ready to copy
dark.
IFR clearance to Juliana.
Black FIN 1231 is
Fyin? Black Fyin? It's Finn. Black
Take
Finn.
off runway 10 climb and maintain 6,000 feet.
How did it?
Departure frequency is 128.905 squawk 4454.
That's so weird. It changed my call sign to 1231, which was our call sign for the last flight, but it didn't use it the last flight. How did it change that? Did it pull it in from SimBrief? But why is it not?
Black FIN 1231, please acknowledge.
Alright, take off runway 10, climb and maintain 6,000 feet.
Black FIN
Departure, frequency
1231,
128.955, squawk
cleared to
445.
Take off runway 10 climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure on 128.905 squawk 4454.
Black FIN 1231 read back is correct.
Oh, was there an incompleted one? I know all the sales for the plane here in Flight Simulator for this upcoming year. So from release for the next year, all that money is going to be donated to the Anatov so they can finish that and build a new plane or memorialize the original one. But yeah, it sounds like he wants to. Let's request a
Juliana
taxi.
Ground, Black FIN 1231,
We should probably start the plane first,
ready
right?
to taxi IFR.
Black FIN 1231 taxi to and hold short of runway 10 using taxiway Charlie. Contact tower on 118.7 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 10 using taxiway Charlie, Black FIN 1231.
Black FIN. Finn. Finn. I want to say the crazy thing about that was when we flew to Russia and the Ukraine. Uh-oh. What's on here? Oh, I didn't. You go high idle here. Right? Should now be able to go, right? There we go. Is that we got around on the world tour. We were coming up on Ukraine, Russia, that whole area, just as the whole thing started. That was what, last year? Can't remember now exactly when it was, but yeah, it was a little awkward because I was like, oh, should I fly over to Russia? And I mean, honestly, I did a Russian BATSIM event just, you know, at the beginning or last week. So it's a little like, well, what do we do? Do we avoid these places? Do we go there? I mean, it is a sim. I mean, I avoided Yemen. I didn't really avoid Yemen. It's just I don't think there were any actual real life flights going to Yemen that I could even simulate, like an actual flight. All right, takeoff clearance.
Juliana Tower, Black FIN 1231, ready for departure runway 10 IFR to Juliana.
Black FIN 1231 QNH 30.02 wind 075 at 7. Cleared for takeoff runway 10.
What are you doing? Get off the runway, please. Please. Out of my way.
Black FIN 1231, please acknowledge.
This is why I usually don't play with multiplayer
Cleared for
on.
takeoff runway 10, Black FIN 1231.
So what is my call sign? Or they're like calling me different things here. Oh no, it is 12. Just when they were doing With all these dang ATRs. Dang ATR fest. I went full throttle, held down the brakes until we were actually at the full throttle going. Beautiful, isn't it? Just insane.
BLACKFIN 1231, contact Juliana, approach on 128.905. Good day.
.905 for BLACKFIN 1231.
As Princess Juliana is right there, right behind our pylon. Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm kind of inspired to look into doing the whole pilot thing again. Like, it's something I think I more now want to do than before, and I have to figure out how to do it and not talk myself out of it because, oh, it's going to be hard money-wise for a few years. Like, if it's something I really want to do and in the long run it should be a net positive, right? You know, but that's the scary part of it, is like, okay, well, it's so much money and then you're not making a ton out the gate. It'd be a little bit different if it was like, okay, well, yeah, you spend $100,000, but you know, you're gonna make $100,000 right away. You know, heck, even $80,000. If I was, you know, be able to get a job where I was making what I'm making right now, I would be like, okay, but you had to go even lower than where we are. Like I said, just hearing these two pilots talk about, you know, and I've watched so many other pilots, and they, you know, just the adventures they get to go on, the things they get to do and see, and the amount of time that, you know, that they work compared to what they get paid. I mean, you know, like I said, like when you're first starting out, that's, you know, the you know, well, we have, you know, our pilots fly, the amount of time our pilots fly. You know, like I think for like the survey, the pipeline survey, I looked at one company and it was like they pay, I think, $30 an hour, which is more than I get paid an hour right now. But I think, but they said it's like the amount of time our pilots fly in a year, you'll make $30,000. I'm like, what? Which means, again, they're not flying a ton. You're not flying a ton of hours there. I mean, let me see. I mean, I can find my calculator. So if you're making $30,000 and you're getting paid $30 an hour, you're flying 1,000. And right there, there's a perfect, I mean, that's literally, that's the formula to figure out how much you're going to make a year at a place, is you think 1,000 flight hours, right? 1,000 hours, divide that by what do I want to divide that by? Let's say 52 weeks, right? Divide that by weeks. You're working 20 hours a week. Okay. Now, that's cool in one sense. Now, the question is, I suppose you can always get a second job, right? You know, that you don't have, you're not limited to only doing, I guess, one, right? But you'd have to, I suppose you're, you know, you're not limited to only flying, I suppose. You can work, you know, work at somewhere else. And I suppose that would be what I would do, right? Because if you're only working 20 hours a week, well, now you have time to take on another part-time job. And, you know, I think my wife said that. It's like, well, couldn't you work out to still work at where you're working right now? You know, especially during training. And I'm like, well, the training's like full-time. You know, when you're training and if you're doing a fast, you know, course training, you know, it's full-time. It's like you're a student at you know, in college, in school. You're there. I mean, it's even more than even college, because college, you know, maybe you have 2-3 hours of classes a day, and then some homework, you know, and then some work you got to do, you know, some coursework. You know, whereas this, it's like you're training. It's like you might be up, you know, ideally, which wouldn't be bad. A terribly bad thing is if you're up you're flying 8 hours a day, building time, right? You're building time. So yeah, it's gonna be a big, a lot of research and figuring out like exactly what we're gonna do.
Juliana approach BLACKFIN 123.
Because if it was just me, if I was, you know, whether I was 35 or 25, you know, I would go. It wouldn't even be a question. There'd be a little bit of hesitancy because of the money, but then at the same time, it'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna be doing something I want to do. I'm very interested in doing, and $30,000 a year, especially, you know, even if I was single and I was making 80,000 and I went to 30,000, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me, right? Because I could deal with that. It's me dealing with it, and then also asking my wife to deal with it, and my son, right? Alright, you are 4 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 10 approach.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 10 approach. BLACKFIN 123.
The voices sound so much better, but I think I'm comparing it to ATC HUD or FS HUD ATC. I'm so used to that. It's on there. Or do I need to? Let's stand by. Is that the problem that I don't have it set right?
BLACKFIN 1231 verify squawking 4454.
I am. Ugh, this is the part that drives me nuts, is I don't know how to fix the squawk. No problem with the squawk until we get here for approach. Then it's like, are you squawking that? I am squawking it. I thought I was squawking it. I don't know how to. Oh, this is what I hate. It's like I never know how to fix the squawking. Oh, there it is. It's on. Oh, I'm an idiot. Again, I don't fly this plane enough. All right, let's get the ATC and let's have them. We don't really need it, but let's get the clearance. Go. Or we can just do it this.
Juliana Tower, BLACKFIN 123.
We can do VFR. It's not dark. It's not too dark.
2,400 feet with Alpha to land.
BLACKFIN 1231 Juliana Tower. QNH 30.06 wind 074 at 5. Fly left base runway 10.
Okay, what are we doing? We're doing fly.
Enter left
Fly
base
left base runway
10
10.
BLACKFIN 1231.
Oh, we'll see. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I definitely, you know, obviously once got to a point where I could, you know, afford to do it and have the time to do it. hopefully chronicle my adventures in flying if I go that route. I always wanted to chronicle my adventures in trucking, but the difference between flying or being a pilot and trucking is that trucking, you're working all the time. I don't know how the guys in trucking do it, because there are a lot of guys that do have YouTube channels and they do it. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to make trucking videos, but I think I noticed that it was very interesting. Listen to this one pilot from Pro Pilot Playbook. You know, both these guys are corporate pilots, and he was talking about, it's like he has all this. He's able to leverage his time, and he's a real estate agent. He owns rental properties, and it's like, okay, already you've kind of sold me there that you're able to do all these other. You're able to do these other side hustles, which just his other things that he does are more than most people make in their careers, right? That's because he's got the time. You know, he's... You know, again, time is money, that old adage. And you get to a point, and that's my goal. It's like, I want more time. I want to be able to, you know, have the income, but then also have the time. And also be able to fly. I mean, there's so many pluses to it, and I think I just have to keep that positive. And I want to thank you guys too. Like, Mika's like, yeah, hey, go for it, right?
BLACKFIN 1231, did you hear my last transmission?
Well, that's why I kind of want to, you know, bounce it off more people. Just to, I need more people to give me like, hey, yeah, we'll back you up on this. We'll help you out, you know, because you want a support system and anything like this, big career change like this. One thing to change jobs, it's a different thing to, you know, spend $100,000 for a career change. But like, it's funny because my mom keeps encouraging me. It's like, hey, you should go get your teaching license, right? Get your teaching certification. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so I'm going to spend $10,000 to take some teaching courses, get my teaching certification, so I can get a job where I will make $30,000, at the best $30,000 less than I'm making right now. Now, granted, I'll get some summer vacation, which I don't get right now. You know, and I won't be working 60 hours a week, you know, hard labor, but I don't know, I taught in China. I have fond memories of it, and it was fun when I did it, but there was also a lot of times where I felt completely out of my depth teaching. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. Also, it'd be cool is go through flight training, learn all this stuff, and then come back to simulator and be one of the experts, you know? One of the people that knows what they're talking about, as opposed to just me who flies for fun here in the simulator, and I try to pick up more and more proper ways of doing things. I don't know a ton of proper ways to do, you know, VFR flight or these smaller plane flights. These are kind of just a means to an end. Can I get from point A to point B on this world tour? Because I like to fly the A320 and the 737, to be honest. But these are, you know, these are the planes you're going to fly a lot more early on.
BLACKFIN 1231, exit runway when able. BLACKFIN 1231, contact ground on 118.7.
Alright, let's contact ground. And I don't... Did I think I did.
118.7, BLACKFIN 1231.
Yep. Taxi to... Taxi to parking.
Juliana ground, BLACKFIN 123, request taxi to parking.
Alright, if you're watching on YouTube, there is a link for the next flight up there. We're going to be flying from here, Sint Maarten, over to St. Kitts and Nevis. And that will then set us up for a longer flight. I don't know for 100% for sure if we're going to go with the flight to Miami, but we are going to fly the next one down to St. Kitts and Nevis. So click on that link, open it up on YouTube, and we'll be headed over there after I do a little bit post-mortem on this flight, checking out our landing rate and all that stuff. And then I'll end the stream and then start up a new one so that you guys can join in. Okay, how do we get to these parking? Let's go this way. Okay, now what is general aviation? Is this going to be a general aviation? Yeah, let's park over here. This is not how you do it in real life. Oh. Also, my rudder pedals, hopefully in real life, are not as big of a pain in the butt as these. Wonder if I can put some WD-40 and it'll fix pedals. Alright, there we go. This one's going to take a little bit more time because I'm going to swap out our plane livery and everything. But it shouldn't take too long. Okay, taxi lights off, beacon light off. Passengers can get off. Here in Sint Maarten, let's bring up Valanta quickly. Check out the flight. Version detected. No. Flight endings. Yes, let's complete it. Alright, let's review the flight. We have landing rate -115, so a little bit better than our previous flights. Did we like on takeoff? Oh yeah, we must have done something on takeoff where we didn't really get up. Because this landing rate actually even better, 96 feet per minute. It's probably a little bit closer where we want to be in a smaller plane like this. 48 kilos of fuel burn, 33 miles. So it keeps telling me 17, but by the time we actually land, it's about 33 for all these flights. 13-minute flight time. So a tick longer than our flight to St. Maarten and back. Kind of flying around here, St. Barth. Next one, we're going to be just a little bit longer flight down to St. Kitts and Nevis. We're going to be flying to the island of St. Kitts, Bastia, right here, Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport. Alright, let's bring up the World Tour map. Again, not a ton to reveal on this map, but check out a little bit of it. Here in the Caribbean, you can see revealed all the island of St. Maarten, both the French and the Dutch part, St. Barth, Anguilla. I believe this is part of the ABC Islands, that Antilles or whatever. But St. Kitts and Nevis is our last one before we head out of the Caribbean and up back to the United States. And we do have to get Bermuda, and there is a French area where I don't have a planned flight for it. I think it's right there, actually. I'm going to have to look, because we're going to fly out to Bermuda, we're going to fly to JFK. Maybe out of JFK I'll add an extra flight, and we'll kind of fly over here. We'll figure this one out, or this will just be on a kind of an addition, picking up places where we missed. Because I'm not sure how many commercial flights are flying in there from a place that you have to do a bunch of crazy extra flights to get there. So we'll kind of, there'll be a few places we're going to kind of just pick up later on, these kind of scattered out here. But this is like St. Pierre and Quilon, little French territory there off of Canada. All right, put that away. Alright, get out here, check out the beautiful sunset here in Sint Maarten. Alright, thanks for coming along on the flight. If you're watching on YouTube, go to the link above, pinned above. That'll be the next stream from here, Sint Maarten, Tango November, Charlie Mike to Tango Kilo Papa Kilo. That's St. Kitts and Nevis, Bastia. think that's the call, or I think that's the IKO. Yes, it is. And we're gonna be flying again on a Windward. I forget what Winair. We're gonna be flying Winair. We're gonna be in the 208 here, the Cessna Grand Caravan. We're gonna fly down to St. Kitts and Nevis for our last, at least a while, propeller aircraft here. We will actually have an ATR flight, but this is gonna be a while before we're in a plane this small again on this world tour. So I will see you over there in just a few minutes on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, we'll just go to an intermission, and hope you're enjoying the streams tonight. And we are now, at least for me, it's now March 2nd. So we are 2 days into March, or the second day of March, and it is my son's now 14th birth month, I would guess it is, right?